Welcome to Monkey and Frank. My name is Doe and my body is Dom. And today, first thing I want to say is to my cousin Frank, my cousin who passed away a while back, the guy that is the the logo of Monkey and Frank. I wanted to let you know, man, that I miss you with all my heart. I wanted to thank you for all of the courage that you're bringing me every single day in this life. I know that life was hard when you left, but I'm really glad that I found spirituality and I'm now here enjoying, well, not enjoying, but being here and now and being silent mind and being proud of myself and loving myself. That's the biggest one. Thank you. I'm at a point in my life now that I can actually say that I love myself. I am love. And the reason why I can say that is because of spirituality, because I believe that there's something greater, because I can feel in my heart that something else, something that it's not going to be done when I die, that my awareness will live on somehow, you know, and that is special. Yeah. So I wanted to share with the audience the first time that I kind of recreated a relationship with you, Frank, after ayahuasca. I was here and I wanted to do a cannabis ceremony where I would go and just spend some time with the trauma of losing my cousin in a motorcycle accident. So the first thing I do is I come downstairs, I burn some sage, and I write in my intention book that I want time to ponder or to reflect upon the grief that I was holding. And I had the cannabis jar. I grew some cannabis the year back and in a beautiful black jar, and I had it open. And as I was writing my message inside my journal, I just started to cry. Frank came around and I felt his presence. I felt like my little cousin around, and I just started to cry, and I was not realizing, but I was crying and snotting all over my weed. All like there was like almost 2 ounces inside that jar. and and as I was crying, I didn't realize it, but I looked down and I'm crying over, and I start to laugh because I felt like it was just a big joke, and my cousin wanted to play a joke on me. So anyways, I rolled the weed anyways, like I didn't care. I went outside, smoked up, come back downstairs. And when I came back downstairs, I was doing my sapo breathing, which is just a full breath in, let go, and when I let go is I go through the emotions. I look with my third eye and I open my heart and I just focus on my intention. And I often lose track of my intention because it's written down. I trust that the spirits, my ancestors are looking out for what I want, and so I just focus on intention and my feelings, and they just grow. And I call it stoking the fire, because as I'm breathing and doing the Wim Hof breathing, the full breath in and let go, to me I'm stoking the fire of my intentions. As I was doing that, Frank comes in full blast in a vision, and he, first of all, shows me all of the time that I was there for him. So basically, I saw through his eyes myself and what I meant to him. Because all this time that I was suffering grief, I was not thinking of what I meant to him. All I was thinking is what he meant to me, and how much I had lost, and how much I was missing him and my rock, and how much I needed him. And I never realized the other way around on how much he needed me while he was alive, how much I meant to him. And vision after vision, I could see through his eyes all of the moments that meant dear to him, that he was going to hold on, that he was going to hold with him even on the other side, like all these magical moments. And I just started to cry because even though I thought that I was the only one feeling sadness. No, I realized that he was feeling the same sadness. He was feeling my sadness, his sadness, that he didn't get to meet my daughter, that he didn't get to meet my wife, or, to grow old with me and have all of the dreams that we had talked about. And it was cool. Like, there was a human aspect to his soul, and that was so great. And as well, as I was seeing through all of this vision, I could see the maturity that he had acquired on the other side. Just by being on the other side, he was such a power, something more than just a little cousin. It was like a god. And he put his hand on my shoulder saying, now I'm there for you. You've been there for me all of my life. All of this life I see, and I'm so grateful that you are there for me. And now let me be there for you. Let me guide and be a protector over your shoulder. And it was insane. Insane. I must have cried for an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it was a cry of such joy, sadness, grief mixed with amazement and spiritual wow, as if I was going through something like that. I'm telling you, since Peru, since December 2019, those types of experience, vision, moments have been so many. There are so many that I forget some, and I think to myself, like, no, I want to remember them all. They are so special to me. They define who I am. They're lessons that I keep learning and relearning because I forget them. There's so many experiences that come my way that often I find myself re-experiencing the same lessons over and over, which is so beautiful. The paradox of forgetting, the idea that God put it inside our DNA, like as a human. If you're going to be a human, the first thing you need to do is forget so that you can remember, re-experience, relive. And even in a lifetime, you'll be forgetting lessons over and over again. It's such a beautiful, crazy, insane, beautiful paradox. So today I was having a walk, and I decided to do the no shirt. It was -3 about. And I went outside, no shirt. I wanted my vitamin D. I wanted to practice shame resilience. So I went for a 45-minute walk with just no shirt. And as I was doing the walk, at first the cold kind of hits your body, and you have to honor the cold and just be and know that the feeling of pain, which is cold, is there for healing. It will not hurt you. All you need to do is breathe through it and gain control of your breath, and you'll see that your feelings are going to match your breath, right? And it forces you to go back to the breath, because if you don't, you're just going to start shivering, and it's going to be, you're not going to want to stay. You're going to run back home, right? So I start walking. I start taking deep breaths in because the cold was getting to me. And after, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, I finally managed to get my breath under control, where my body was just comfort. Like, the cold was not bothering me anymore. I was in a state of like, this is just a feeling. And as soon as that happened, I envisioned my Sapo ceremony. It came back to me during my Sapo ceremony. I was doing the Wim Hof breathing, but like to the core. It was deep breath in, all the way out, deep breath in, all the way out. But I didn't know that I was doing this action. But it reminded me on how the breath is the most important thing that anyone can master. Like, if I would say, what do you want to master in this? The breath, period. Taking a full breath in without it being tense, but having like a great lungs, great diaphragm, a great way to oxygenate all of your blood, properly and efficiently, is the most important thing. I started doing the Wim Hof breathing about 9 years ago now, and I'm telling you, my breath has evolved day by day, month by month. It's always changing. And even now, And I do the Wim Hof breathing every single night, a minimum of 20 minutes. And I'm still amazed on how my breath is evolving. So as I was walking today, I was breathing in and I could feel the Sapo experience coming back and telling me the breath. If you have the breath, there is no amount, like there's nothing that can challenge you. You can have the utmost pain, the utmost fear, the utmost extreme feelings, but if you're still doing that full breath in and you stay at the top, you're going to be in control of your emotions. You're going to be in control of the the cold, the heat, the dryness, the fact that you're dying and you need water and didn't have water for hours now. That it's the breath. Deep breath in through the nose, let go. And when you let go, it's not pushing the air out. You just let your lungs decompress as if it's a relaxation. So now every breath become like deep breath in is a way of like verifying, or the way I call it is when I take a deep breath in, it feels like a shower, as if there's water that's running all over to the extremities. So from the beginning of my breath to the end of my breath, it feels like a sheet of water went from my lungs to the top of my head, to the tip of my finger and the bottom. And then when I let go, it feels like a funnel where everything, where all of the oxygen are at my extremity, it comes back in and goes inside the heart and through the heart forward. So as if I'm breathing out of my heart. And I try to do that at every single breath of my life. It's so important. It is. I can't stress that enough. And it was showing me as well during the walk, my fourth ceremony, on how it was so cool, because all of the week with ayahuasca, I had no vision, no hallucination, no great feelings. It was basically like eating a cannabis edible, but like a very strong one, and being uncomfortable in my body, period. The third ceremony taught me that if I use the breath and I use the Wim Hof breathing, or I called it the Sapo breathing, you can get through anything. Because I was in a state of pure agony with ayahuasca, but yet I was able to be not happy about it, but not unhappy. I handled it like a champ. I did my breathing, I did the Sapo breathing, and I puked a few times, and I was a kind of like a warrior. But the fourth ceremony, I take the medicine, and again, it makes me feel like I ate an edible of cannabis. And right away at the beginning, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take control of this shit. I don't want to feel like that for the next 4 hours. I'm just going to do the Sapo breathing, and I'm going to shove the fingers down my throat, and I'm going to puke and get it over with. So, because I've learned so much this week, I don't care about the psychedelic aspect of ayahuasca. I was just, that's it. I just don't want no more suffering, and I want to take my life in my own hand. So I start breathing deep, deep, deep. And, like 20, 30, 40 breaths until I feel like really high on my own supply. And I shoved a finger down my throat. But when I did that, I remember bringing in all of me. Like, I remember the feeling of like, I'm taking all of myself and I'm making this decision for me, and I'm done. And I shove my finger down my throat, and it does not work. Shove my finger down my throat a second time. And as soon as I did that, poof, the gold showed up, and the triangles with the eyes all like showed up so fast in my mind, and it's like I fell backward, and I just started breathing, but that type of breathing. And as I was walking today, it was really showing, because it's almost like I had forgotten, but it was crazy intense. Like I went into a crazy wriggle snake, breathing in, out, like my body was going through a crazy transformation, or a crazy experience, as if it was Sapo, but like for 4 hours. And the first hour, it was like I said, just an intense breathing. And as I was walking, I was going through that today, and it was so cool, because it was showing me how how insane it was, basically. If you guys never done ayahuasca or 5-MeO DMT, the toad, it's nothing that can be described. It's all of your feelings times a million. And I wanted to describe it better for you, especially my fourth ceremony, but it's ineffable. Like I don't know, it's like mushroom, but way more. And again, ayahuasca is different supposedly per ceremony. So I had three very similar ceremony of pain and physical discomfort, and the fourth one was so unique. It was the state of bliss for 4 hours. Every single decision, thought that was going through my mind was the best freaking idea, best thought I've ever had, but the feelings don't match how I'm saying it. Is like again times a million. It was mind blown times a million, and it was the best feeling I've ever had, and ever for a full evening. That was crazy. I mean, if I could have a feeling like that ever again, and even when I was on that feeling, I remember thinking to myself like, oh my god, am I ever not, is this going to be my new life? I thought that the way I felt was going to be my new life, and I was thinking to myself like, this is going to be hard to live like this. Oh my god, because I was thinking, I was picturing myself going on the plane and not behaving like a normal human being, because just the idea of doing something new was mind blowing. When I learned to talk that night, I was so mind blown that I had forgotten that I knew how to talk. And I remember they called for a second call, and I'm like, oh yeah, the voice exists. And I made like a voice like, hi, hi. And I was mind blown that I could talk. And I just started whispering to myself because I didn't want to disturb anybody around me. And it was crazy. Today I found out that, well, not today, yesterday or something like that, that the government is announcing like a free tuition to become a palliative nurse or caretaker or whatever. And it's calling to me. I really want to switch my profession and work with the dying. But tonight I had this crazy experience with my daughter where I decided to tell her, it's like, hey, daddy wants to switch his job to go work with the people that are dying so that I can help them, have a better crossing so that they can go to the love world, whatever. And she's like, I don't know if it's a good idea, daddy. It sounds like a very hard job for you. And I'm like, and I took it seriously. When my daughter speaks, it's no joke, right? She's 4, but they're so connected to the source that I listen and I pay attention. And I'm like, well, I really don't like my job right now. I would like to do something else, something where I can help people. And she's like, yes, but working with dead people looks difficult, and I don't want you to switch your job when the virus is here, because then what if you get the virus? And I'm like, oh my god, it's already, like, she's only 4 years old and she's concerned for my health, even though I often speak of spirituality and the idea that our awareness will continue and that you're not your body, and to be there for your body, it's such a beautiful vessel and it's going to give you so many beautiful experiences, and I'm always here for you, and God is love and mother and blah blah blah, souls. And still, like, she doesn't want me, and I totally understand, but it's crazy how fast they catch on to the yeah. And it's beautiful because but anyways, at the end, not that I convinced her, but I was like, but I really want to work with people and really help them see that maybe there is a God or there is something after, and if I can just remove a little bit of their suffering through my gentleness and my voice and my care, then that will make my heart sing way more than what I'm doing right now. And she's like, shh, daddy, it's okay. It's okay. I think you should switch your job. I think you're going to be good, but it's going to be hard. And I'm like, yeah, I expect that. And I probably don't know what I'm getting into. It's probably going to be way harder than I expect. But I think I'm ready. And I want to put it out there that it feels like my destiny, my destiny is to be here and now, and to have my heart and my mind open to the communication of the world, of Mother of God, through signs, through coincidence, through anything, love, conversations, anything. And when I came back from Peru, I was contemplating doing this type of work, because when I found self-love, and then I had a few experiences with, like, an example is a conversation with God, that guy that wrote the book that blew me away. And then anyways, walking towards death has been the most transformative thing in my life, other than the breath, of course. And I want to be there and do that for others. I've had a vision of, like, one day owning my own place where people would come to my place and really have a beautiful death, where the family members could stay, where there would be like a big room where the deceased and the family would be able to be in, and like, so comfortable, not a hospital setting, somewhere where there's a garden, tree, the natural food that the family could go and get. And anyways, I dream of a place where I can make death a part of society, where it's not only accepted, as revered. People would want to die the way they want, like to die and with an honor of the body. When the body dies and is showing you what's going on, and you have to let go, that's so beautiful. And I've never seen it this way before, and actually have regrets. Like, I'm hoping that I can get this training before my grandpa passes away. I want to be there for him. It would be nice. Or anybody in my family members. Yeah, but it is something that I've been contemplating a lot. And to say, I want to listen to the world and blah blah blah. Well, when they announced that they were going to make that training free, because we're in dire needs of palliative care, people in Ontario, and that they were, shortening the course and blah blah blah, I can't help, I was laughing. It's like abundance. God is clearly asking me to apply for something that is given, to me. So thank you. I will apply, and if it works out, it works out. If not, not. Oh man, my ceremony wall is amazing. I really, oh yeah, the breathing today and the walk and the ceremony wall, they all came together as ancestors. As I'm living today, and when my ideas with my actions, I feel like I'm putting in an effort to keep all of the ancestors and everybody that is pushing me forward in the love world, in the Sapo world, on the other side. But really, it's all one, right? And the more that I bring them in my awareness as I'm living, oh man, it's such a blessing. Now, of course, you can't hold on to everything, right? I'm here and now. I'm in presence. That's my number one goal. And then everything else is bonus. If I can feel the presence of God, or feel like I have the ancestors pushing me forward, or I can have the feeling of effort or gratitude as I'm doing life, as life asks me to do things, from my children to my wife. That's mostly these two, or my work. Yeah, those are the only thing right now that are dictating what my choices are. And then the rest is all based on spirituality and, these podcasts to videos. That's the only thing I feel drawn to do, is to be here and now and to talk about it as I'm staring at my third eye. It's so cool. So I'm feeling very, very blessed to be able to do this. This is crazy. Yeah, amazing. Totally amazing. The breath, the ancestor, here and now, Oh, and the one more step. I was really again thinking of when we went to that walk, me and my wife, and we got crazy mosquito thing. One more step, the breath and the ancestors. I had a vision where I was reliving that experience, but instead of feeling a sense of um, doom, as if I was going to die, as if a bear was going to come in and he was going to kill us all, my family and I. What if I would, and I was reliving that experience as if my ancestors were there, and it was, instead of agony, and it was so, it was the same feeling of agony, like my body was screaming. I was still looking out for bears and being kind of the protector of my wife and my newly born child. And but yeah, the vision itself. So it made me think of, I have a practice where I go back in the past and I think of any time that me, Dom, Do, needed a hug. And I go back as the man that I am now and I think of that memory and I change it by giving a hug to that little person. And that's been changing my life so much in self love, right? Well, today I was applying the same concept but with my ancestors. So I was going back in the past every time that I was lazy, every time that I felt disappointed that I didn't take action. And I kind of took action, or maybe not even took action, like I relived the same moment where I didn't take action, but I was bringing in my ancestors where they were encouraging me. So it turned the idea of that memory of, instead of being a disappointment, it was now a look at this. My ancestors were encouraging me back then, now they're encouraging me now. And same with like, I would rethink of memories with my girlfriends of the past, and instead of behaving like a scared little person that was strapped and that didn't have a voice, now I would think of myself with that voice, and I was kind of reliving those memories, but with honor and respect, as if I was healing. Like it felt like I was healing memories with my ancestors. And the way that they were doing that is they were re-showing me visions, but like as if I was behaving differently, as if it was a different dimension, maybe. I don't know. But it felt like healing. I wanted to throw it out there because it's so cool that if you can spend a little bit of time and just think of your memory as if you're here and now, but thinking of your memories, and go give yourself a hug. Go change that memory and bring your ancestors and see, or bring courage, or bring honor, or bring truth to that memory, and see how it feels. See if you're able to convince your mind that that's the new memory now. I don't want to hold on to that memory of pain, suffering, because it's just the way I thought about it. It's not real. It's my choice, and I choose to believe. I choose to have faith, to have love, to grow, and to be here for others, and to witness the good and the bad, and not to just go towards comfort, to go towards cold, death, the breath, work, the body, everything. Food, it's so hard. Everything that is easy, everything that is easy and good in the mouth and super awesome is often terrible for you. So the paradox of making an effort at every corner is so real, and you see it in people that are so dedicated in a healthy way, like not people that are just doing it for fame or money or, oh man, just money. That one alone, that one still hooks me. I wish I had financial freedom, but I am not ready. I want to have financial freedom when, I am fully spiritual, where I know that I'm going to do good with that money. And if not, don't send it my way. I want to die spiritually. Oh man, abundance, 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 but in, like, when you are ready. And I trust that it's going to deliver when I'm ready. So yeah, man, like this is so interesting. Thank you so much, everybody that's in my life right now, that's listening to this, all of my friends that have played a part in my journey this year. Oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are insane. And when I mean you guys, I mean you. God, you, Mother, all of those illusions that are walking around that are helping me grow are all perfect. And it's all meant to be for me, for you, for everybody. I can't, you know, I am nothing. All I want to do is to serve, to honor, to grow, and to be here and now for myself, which is God, Mother, you, me. Love you guys. And Monkey and Frank, my friend, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Monkey and Frank for life. Love you with all my heart.